See, but the thing that I also think though, because again, MacGyver reboot, right? So if they brought back Knight Rider and all that, they try to bring back so many shows. I think some of them have a second run, and then some of them don't. I think we see less of our shows redone
because they're so good the first time.
And because we're black, they don't see the value in bringing back our stuff because they don't understand the cultural importance.
I mean, our shows can be brought. I mean, Living Single. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we saying they could be brought back. They're not being brought back.
There's just such a big difference from how we were able to say whatever we wanted, and things weren't so sensitive. And Black people are so insensitive to certain shit, like, and we write in a style that is like, no, we make fun of everybody, and that we can't really do now. So we have to like take into consideration, like, redoing a lot of our stuff is kind of like, it's not gonna work. Like, what made it so funny was it was authentic to that time. Like, you can go back and watch it, like, woo, that shit get canceled now, but like, you can't do it now. Like,
I be like, I do it on social media sometimes. I call it retroactive canceled. And so I'll show a clip from some shit back in the day, like Fresh Prince clip or anything, Eddie Murphy, anything, you know what I'm saying? And be like, oh, canceled, because they say reckless stuff.
In Living Color.
Yeah. Oh,
half of the shit.
Yeah. It was such a great show.
But it was like, that show was
such a great
show. Yeah, but Handyman, you can't do Handyman right now.
Hated it.
Right. You can't do Hated It right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do.
Wanda. Probably you can't do either.
Transgender community be pissed off.
That's what I'm saying. So
or they be proud,
they
might feel represented.
Well, that's what we lack just in general. We lack representation. So when we look at a lot of our shows, we don't get represented unless it's power. So now we're all this, and it's like, damn, like, can we get more shows that really, really show us functioning, regular jobs, regular shit going on?
Right.
I watch a lot of like emergency response shows, and they I do. I love it.
You turned into like a 3-year-old just now. You said, like, what show?
I watch like 911, like Chicago, like like the whole Chicago series. They've got like Fire and like, I love the shows. Like, they're fire, but all of the shows feature like strong Black leads. And I feel like, we say that we want to see Black people doing regular jobs, and they are, and they're doing it well. Angela Bassett is getting all of her kudos on 911.
St. Petersburg, Florida. Also, I'm the 5th famous person from St. Peters. Angela Bassett, then it's Will Packer, then it's Rod Wave, then it's I want to say Winky Wright. Y'all know who Winky Wright is, the boxer. Then Justin Hires.
Wow. So it's Angela for Dennis's.
Angela for Dennis's.
And then okay.
But we're being represented.
That's dope.
We just we're not, like, all Black shows are not highlighted. You know what I mean? Our all Black cast shows are not really getting the love.
I mean, we don't get the Emmy nod.
Oh, go ahead. No. I was just saying, like, I mean, Insecure is like, that's its own like entity. You know what I'm saying? But I think that what it was, the reason that show was so successful is, yes, she featured Black artists and she featured like Black actors. I mean, even if you watch the documentary on that show, like, she had like Black staff, Black parking drivers, Black caterers. Like, she really went for it. Issa did. And but I also think that there's so much relatable content, and that's the thing. I think that some people view I'm talking about non-Black people, they'll view us in such a specific light. So I think that when a fresh show comes and it's like, no, I have insecurities too. I can be awkward. I can be strange. Like, Black people, we are on the same spectrum as any other group of people. And I think that those shows, when you really highlight those commonalities, that those are the shows that can have all Black casts and be successful, in my opinion.
And the reason why I say it the way that I say it as far as representation, because it will be more of what you were saying, where it's like, oh, we got a strong Black lead. But I've done commercials and the director had to come over. It's like, hey, I had to argue with them about 2 Black guys being friends in this because for some reason they don't think that 2 Black guys are going on a road trip. And this is the director that is telling me, like, damn, you had to argue for 2 Black people to be in a car together. And for when you start thinking about that psychology of what you said, like, y'all are wired this way to think that we don't hang out together. And the only reason why we're successful is because we have all these white counterparts around us. And I think that that's a false narrative. And again, we're all comics too. So
shout out to my white manager that called me.
Listen, I'm not saying that there's not people out here who see the world for how they see the world, but when they write for us, and it goes back to what Lena was saying, because we don't have distribution, so we don't control.
But that's a strong statement right there. Like, when they write for us, that's a very strong statement to make. There's not enough Black people in these rooms. That, like, our writers are like stifled. We're stuck to being on shows that are all Black. We're not able to put input in to where we say, oh no, it makes sense for this character to be Black, and she would have a Black family, and she would, and being able to expand upon like just what it means to be a Black person. Because us in our all Black world, we don't only have an all black world. I got plenty of friends outside of being black.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
Name them.
You know, I went to school in Corona.
I got a lot of Mexican in Corona.
Yeah, well, I grew up in a really nice part of Corona.
Okay.
South Central,
Corona extra.
Corona, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, again, I agree with you. In some of the workplaces that I've had, especially before entertainment, that's what you're surrounded by. But how do you also paint this picture of me? Even if you're gonna represent me, then am I writing for myself? Are you writing me from your perspective? Because that could be a totally different narrative or like just outlook on what you think that I do when I get here.
Well, you know, Toni Morrison, I love like watching interviews of her and stuff like that. You know, iconic author, obviously. But one of the things that Toni Morrison said in an interview is there was a white person interviewing her, and they asked her, they were like, why do you only write about black people or from black perspectives? And she said, you don't understand how powerfully racist that question is. You know, she was like, I believe that black people, our stories deserve to be told through our eyes, not white eyes. She said and really up until Toni Morrison, you know, her books became popular, a lot of stories about black people were shown through the white gaze. And so she was one of the first people to like really write stuff from our perspective. So I do think, and the good thing is with internet and social media, you know, look, Issa Rae, Insecure would not have happened if she had not produced it on her own and put Awkward Black Girl online. So I do think Black people, we do have that leverage in a way of like we can put our content out there and write our own content, but that's the key. It's like a lot of times we're going to take the initiative. I think it's not going to happen where someone's just going to hand you like, hey, here you go, like sure, just take off and write a pilot. Like you're going to have to put something out there first and show some traction. But
that's very discouraging.
But yeah,
you know?
and that's what I was about to say too, because it's almost like I've seen lines at Gucci, but not Black-owned businesses, and it's that same energy that goes into, and that's what you were saying, like. Is anybody even watching the shows that Black people are on or that are all Black cast, or are you waiting for somebody else to validate it, or are you waiting for that same narrative that's been projected and that's what you're a fan of? So like you said, we're accountable in the same sense as far as like you got to do it.
Right. What part did you think is discouraging?
That it takes so much more from us.
We Black
to just be on like not even close to the same playing
field. We Black.
But like no, it's really like
the facts
to think that like man, like I love to write and I might put something that I feel like it's too great to just be like a web series, but like this is the platform I have. You know what I mean?
I was actually gonna ask that about you because you put out a lot of content, a lot of sketches, which is dope. Are you putting that out with the hopes of like almost like to build a fan base, so then you could go like the Issa Rae route, or are you doing that to like build a fan base so you could go on tour and headline and you're not concerned about network stuff?
I absolutely am taking all the money.
Amen.
Like I don't believe in closing yourself off to opportunities because I'm talented enough to do all of it. You know what I mean? But when I'm writing, I'm definitely writing in the hopes that somebody would appreciate not only like my comedy, but also that like I can formulate a full storyline and I can like build characters that have like girth to them. Like I want somebody to come in and be like, okay, yeah, like she's dope, but we can see more of that. I've got web series, I've got movies, I got full features that like I want to do, but I'm also like, man, like I want such a bigger place to put these at than just being able to be like on the internet. But like 2 years ago we shot a movie. We shot a short film. And we super independent, $500 budget, but like was shot incredible, and we're able to like put it in the short film circuit and won like a bunch of awards. And that it made me realize like what I feel defeated by sometimes is like also inspiration to go and do it my own way. Go do it independent where people can't tell you what kind of limits you got to put on it. Right. And then maybe the reward from that will be bigger than me trying to go the traditional route.
Well, it's gonna heighten your skill set also, because see, I had to do the same thing when I first moved out. I was big on, you don't know this about me probably, but I was like popping on YouTube like early, right? But what I learned from that, I learned how to write, direct, produce. You know, I learned how to do all that, how to be a better actor. You know, I learned all of those things from self-producing. So yeah, I feel like all the stuff that you're going through ain't gonna do nothing but make you stronger. So when those opportunities do come, you gonna be beasting out of control on them.
I agree. I agree 100%. And, you know, and I was gonna say like, you know, sometimes I feel like God has us all on our own paths in certain ways. Like I look at Jay-Z as a great example. You know, like you guys talk about like self-producing content. I mean, Jay-Z before he started Rockefeller, he literally submitted his stuff to every major record label, and all of them just said no. And he could have like let that defeat him. But it's like, what if God was like, no, like Sean, I want you to like create your own thing. Because he had Rockefeller Records, when he did start blowing up, it got to a certain point where he was sitting in the same rooms with the record label owners. He wouldn't have been in those rooms and been able to have those conversations and make those deals if he was just an artist on another person's label. So, you know, we never know. Like, sometimes I always believe that God has bigger plans for us than we have for ourselves. And so sometimes I feel like maybe God is just setting you up for something bigger. Maybe you're getting all these no's because God's like, no, I want you to give yourself the yes so that you'll be in those positions that I need you to be in the future.
Well, and I think to piggyback that, I think you keep more creative control, right?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Because now you have muscle memory and you got logged hours in this. So when you say like, oh, okay, cool, I want to produce, I want to do all this on something that I created, there's trust. Because now I got evidence. I got a whole timeline that shows like, hey,
receipts.
This is that's what I'm saying. So this is what I've been doing. This is how the quality is. So with your money, this is how much better it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Because I also shot a proof of concept because I was getting paid for this. So I don't need your money. So how I talk is gonna be totally different in this meeting. Because I'm asking you to match me. I'm not asking you to buy it. I'm not asking you to do any of that. So either you come in or I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'll be your competition then. And I'll be a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Because that's I think because I had a accounting career before jumping into entertainment and getting in front of the camera, I got to see because I'm touching the money. So now how y'all talk to me is totally different how y'all talk to everybody else in here. And because I got access to the money, you talk to me different, right? And it wasn't until they said, oh, the hip hop accountant.
Oh, that's what they called you.
So now, right now, you minimize my output,
right?
Because I'm good enough for you to have me here, right? Which means I know everything that now I've had to get creative with accounting. That was convenient for you, but you still want to put me in my place. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. So now I see what y'all did. What y'all did was y'all got this money, y'all bought this equipment, y'all shot quality stuff. So now these people rent this equipment. Now they helping you pay this equipment off and you able to shoot quality stuff. So now when people come to you, you can do your own shit and you making money. So now when you want to go do your own shit, you can do it. So when it comes to us being able to do comedy specials and all that shit, we gonna keep more creative control if we using our money. But how are you using your money? Are you monetizing shit on YouTube? Are you hustling over here? Are you doing this? Did you sell this project? Because sometimes even what you were saying, it's like, all right, cool. If I know I got to do this work, then let me take these steps. And like you were saying, when it comes to projects, like, cool. So I got these projects for this. I got these projects for this. Because this shit got to keep growing. This shit got to keep moving. So it was $500 to shoot my next project. Even if I shoot a next one for $1,000, then I'm gonna keep moving up. The quality, my experience, all those things. Yeah. And I think that sometimes we don't take heed to that Issa Rae route. People got to want to do it. Some people just want to act. Some people just want to do comedy. They can do comedy and not want to act. They can not want to write. They can not want to do all this. We happen to be sitting in here.
They can also like to be unemployed because if your ass
want me down, I get it. Hate that I keep winning. Stab my back, it's tempting.